What's up, guys? What's going on out there, fragrance family out there in YouTube land? Let's talk Tom Ford for a second. Let me get the top button. I don't want to look like a pimp. Get the chair up. Sorry about that. Okay, that's better. Okay, I've tried this before, but I've never done an actual review on Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, or Tobacco Vanille, if you want to say it like that. For me, this is a subtle miss. It's not, for me, the masterpiece that so many idolaters and worshipers of Tom Ford that just bow down at the Holy Grail that is Tobacco Vanille or Tobacco Vanille. No, this is not the Holy Grail of tobacco scents at all. It's not even close, and it's not terrible. I won't even say it's bad. It's just not, to me, nearly as good as it's been touted to be. It's not what I'm looking for in an awesome tobacco fragrance. It's got some elements I'm looking for, so I'm not going to go so far as to say that it has nothing. It's got some elements, and some of them are pretty decent. Some of them are actually pretty good. But as a collective, let's go through some of the notes and talk about some of my issues that I'm having with the fragrance, and to show you that I'm not just like smoking something else and you think, what are you talking about, Steve? There are a lot of other users, end users out there, buyers and samplers, and of the scent, who have come to the same conclusion as I have. Let me see if I can find this, guys. Let's see. Now, it's pretty good in truth. I'm being a little hard on it. It's pretty good. I'll give it that. But it's not, for me, great, and it's definitely not a home run. So I don't know who did the scent, by the way. I was looking for the nose and Fragrantica. Could not find who designed this scent. But whatever. Let's see, I'm almost there. Okay, where did I see it? Because this person's review is just like so spot on. I think I'm almost there. And here's one reviewer, for example, who starts getting some of the things that I have actually picked up in the scent. And this is a tiny little decant. I don't want you to think I'm making this up. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. I'm for Tobacco Vanille. Anywho. Okay, guy says, first pepper and some etheric oil resembles mild eucalyptus, some vanilla, and some hint or hunch of some spice, usually normally in cakes. It says scent is mostly those with sweet dried fruits. Small amount of tobacco mixed to those explains the not pretty weirdness. I don't know. They're talking a little bit weird with their diction. Maybe special, but not pretty. Rich, sweet, warm. And I don't get a whole lot of vanilla. It's strange, guys. It's called Tobacco Vanille. I've got other fragrances that, make this seem like a nothing fragrance as far as vanilla. They have like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times the vanilla as this thing. They probably have too much vanilla. In fact, I didn't get that much vanilla here. I don't get a whole lot of tobacco. I get more of, when I get away from the skin, I do get a vague, like a Havana cigar type dry, earthy tobacco, but just a very, I don't say a vague note, but just kind of a, how can I say it? Just like a shimmering, vague, just conglomerate hint of tobacco. If I come down, I get to my nose something kind of like cinnamon or cinnamate that we were talking about in my previous video, and I get something like star anise. There's something in here, or like tamarind fruit, that I'm not real keen on, and there is some kind of menthol, eucalyptus aspect to it that I just find rather bizarre, quite frankly. let's see. There's another person here who, yeah, they also sense they get the cinnamon, they get the dried fruit, the cloves. Um, where was it? I know I found some person that was really just talking exactly what I was talking about. Hmm, where, God, you want to find something you can't. You don't want to find something you find it. Hmm. This one guy. I mean, I'm just, we all have our opinions or whatever. He goes by Iobhai, Iobhai. He's got some little balloon icons by his review. And he says, you've stopped at a gas station in rural America and you've purchased a pack of Marlboro cigarettes. You get in your car, you open them up, and you bury your nose into the pack before taking any out. You then unseal a Vanilla Little Trees air freshener and you hang it from your rearview mirror before driving on. Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. Man, it's not too far from the truth. A pretty harsh little review there. I didn't make that up. You can go on Fragrantica and review it if you want. I have no idea. I see some guy with headphones playing a violin. I'm not going to spend too much more time looking for that little review thing because it had something in it that was very, very apropos. Yeah, here it is. I find it's by Joey G. Joey G says, tried this on card only today. Now I've got it on skin. He says, opening smelled profoundly of aniseed balls. I don't know what that is. He said, kind of like a mixture of aniseed and star anise. As it dried down, I started to get more sweetness, kind of like mulled clementines and cinnamon. I agree. He says not much vanilla and definitely not much tobacco. I would more or less agree. I think it probably has a little more tobacco than Joey is alluding to. And then he says after about 4 hours, it smelled exactly like a Yankee candle we had over Christmas. One of their festive limited editions. So much for niche perfumes and their quality ingredients. He says thoroughly disappointing. I would take Pure Havana over this all day long. Now, I tried Pure Havana this week, and I am not a huge Terry Mugler fan, and I'll tell you why in a nutshell. As much as I want to really adore and like his frags, there there is something, and this is not meant to be a Mugler video or anything about Terry Mugler, but if we're comparing the idea of Pure Havana over that, yes, Pure Havana has a stronger, more generic tobacco scent, and I do find it maybe an easier scent to wrap my head around. I think it's an easier scent to sort of like, and it's almost mass appealing in a weird way. Whereas I think Tobacco Vanille is more not everyone's cup of tea. But I'm not necessarily I'm not saying to Pure Havana is, but I think Pure Havana or Havana is probably a lot easier for the masses to like rather than Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Not least wise, price wise, but just the scent itself. Um, but Terry Mugler's scents, they have a synthetic sweetness that to me is a bit off-putting, and they smell very contrived. They smell very artificial. I'm not saying they smell bad. That's not at all what I'm saying. They smell pretty good. Some of them smell very good. But there's this artificiality about the scents. They feel very, very sculpted, like they've cut components out that would have been there in nature. You know what I mean? Almost like what Jean-Claude Elina does for House Hermes. But I think he does it in a much, much more subtle, true to nature way that whoever is doing the stuff for Terry Mugler, I'm sure it's not Terry himself, they're a lot more sloppy or modern or avant-garde, however you want to slice it. And I just find his frags not the most natural. And I wear a lot of, some to some extent, some fake stuff, but it just smells better. It smells more traditional, smells more organic, even though it may not be. And for me, Mugler stuff, it always has this candy shop aspect and feel to it. Now, luckily, most of Tom Ford's do not have that candy shop artificiality. But having said that, I don't get a whole lot of vanilla here. I get almost more of like a mint or eucalyptus, like the other reviewer pointed out, almost like a little bit of pepper and cloves, quite a bit of cinnamon, maybe some tamarind. I don't know, some other dried fruits. It's interesting, but I would personally, if I was spending similar money, I would by a country mile prefer to go buy one of the tobacco-based scents from by Killian. I would much prefer to go buy a tobacco-based scent from. It was just on my mind a second ago. Who was it? This is by Killian. I just had it on the tip of my brain. Let's see. Oh, Parfums de Marly. Yes, Parfums de Marly. Except for Herod, I'm not, as you well know if you watch my video. Sorry, Herod, I'm not a fan. It's just, not macho enough. It doesn't bring it. You've got to bring it, man. If you're gonna make a tobacco scent, I want to smell some real freaking pipe and cigar tobacco in there. With emphasis on that ruggedness, that rich tobacco. And Herod to me was just wimpy and sweet and soft and powdery and not terrible by any means, just not at all what I'm looking for. And I love the House of Parfums de Marly. I'm a huge fan of Layton, for example. And I have a huge sample variety coming in the mail. So we're going to be looking at some, hopefully, knock on wood, well, that's glass, but some of the other Parfums de Marly coming up shortly throughout the coming week, I hope. That's going to do it, guys. That's my mini rant on Tobacco Vanille. It's not terrible. It's okay. It maybe at times is good. It's not great for me and definitely not what the doctor ordered. And I just don't understand the idol lust and just the worshiping at the altar. I really, really admire and love a lot of Tom Ford's frags. This, sadly for me, is not one of them, but I'm not trying to throw shade. I know a lot of you out there are just diehard fans. Please take this with a grain of salt. This is just my 2 cents. It's only my opinion. It's not fact. It's my nose. It's my taste. It's your nose. It's your taste, sensibilities, etc., etc., etc. So let's just agree to disagree. If you love it and I don't, that's fine. I do think a lot of other frags out there offer a lot more vanilla though than this does, and I wasn't really as big a fan on this sort of anise or star anise or cinnamon or whatever it is in here that has this little. And I do like cinnamon, but for some reason in this particular concoction, it's not quite working for me. I'm sorry, it's not. And I'm not getting nearly the amount of vanilla. I don't know if this is a reformulation or, God forbid, a fake knockoff, but I'm not the only one getting this. There's a lot of other reviewers on Fragrantica and Base Nuts that are getting the exact same notes that I've pointed out. But we don't all smell the same things the same way, and that's a fact. Okay, that's enough. I'm just ranting on at this point. So we will see you hopefully next time. If you don't delete, drop my, unsubscribe, and God forbid. So if you put up with me this long, please subscribe and hit the bell for future updates. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, not someone else's. Peace out. Love you guys. Ba bing, boom, bam.